Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. Thank you for popping on and seeing what I'm up to today. Yes, so we are doing a video on salvage finds. So with picking at all these estate sales and online auctions and buying lots, there's just so much rusty, crusty, salvage decor. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to share with you the process of how I turn it into wonderful home decor. The thing about looking for items to make over has definitely taken us down such a path between only going to thrift stores to now going to garage sales and yard sales to estate sales and now to online shopping was where I found this beauty. Oh my goodness. So an online auction, we won this mini, I had never seen a mini milk can before. So I was super excited. I love the rusty crusty of it all. It came with a whole bunch of extras, some tools and whatnot. That's just how these online estate auctions are. It's always lotted into a group, but this definitely needed a good cleaning. So luckily we have that new power washer that has definitely already came in so handy. So a good cleaning this is going to get. I'm going to go ahead and try to preserve the patina of this. Now it has dried completely. You can see the rust. So what I mean by preserve, hopefully stop the rust from completely going through the metal. So I have this weather defense. I used it on a couple of my outdoor items and I absolutely love the color and the protection that it gives a piece. So yes, it's going to take 2 coats is recommended on this. And then after I get this all coated, I kind of have to leave it where it is because it's going to be way too heavy to carry on a board. By chance, I went to a barn sale. Now, this one did not have a milk can lid, but at the barn sale, I was like, is this a milk can lid for $2? I actually have a milk can that needs a lid, and she believed that they were universal. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and get the milk can lid sprayed up because I was actually already in the process of spraying this when I went to that barn sale. Now these two beauties I found when we were going to pick up the lot of online auction winnings. We randomly saw a garage sale and stopped by and found out that it was a viewer of our channel. Hi out there. Yep, I'm going to use that same weather defense to protect this rusty crustiness of this, but I taped off the top portion of this that was wood. I only needed to spray the metal with a weather defense, but then I'm going to remove the tape and I'm going to go in with some Howard wax to just spruce up this very dry barn wood. And now I'm just going to add a hanging system to the back. Wouldn't these make beautiful wall decor? Now, my problem was picking out which side I thought was the prettiest. And I picked these sides out because it had a little bit of that natural metal showing through. I don't even know what these came from. If y'all know, go ahead and give me a shout out in the comments below if you know what they were actually from. But oh my gosh, if I had a empty wall space, they would be on my wall in a heartbeat. But I'm happy to put a hanging system for somebody else to enjoy them. Now, next up are these 3 boxes, actually, these 3 cubby boxes. I went to a estate sale. It was a estate sale that I was the only one there. There was a citywide, everybody stopped at the citywide and started shopping, but I kept my focus. I thought I can come back here because the citywide has one every year, and I'm going to hit this one. And I am glad I did, because not only did I find lots of treasures that the ladies didn't know were in the house, but they also helped me find other treasures once they noticed what I was picking. So these were part of dressers or sewing tables that had been removed. And so I knew, since me and Chris and I work as a team, I knew that he would be able to recreate a top and a bottom for these. So yes, we always have some kind of a stockpile of wood, or we definitely know where to find some if we need to. So yes, he's going to go ahead and cut up this random piece of wood that's in our stash, because we all have stashes, because you never know what you're going to need, to the size appropriate for that first tall cubby. That he has it cut to size, all he needs to do is try to match up the same as what the bottom is with using the router. So yep, it's going to be close, probably not perfect because of the age, but he got that pretty darn close. So now, yep, it looks really good. So that's his dry fit. Now you'll just remove the drawers and go ahead and screw it in. And now it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can Waverly Wax the top to match this. So far, Waverly Wax has matched a lot of the older stains. So, yep, I'm just going to wipe it on at full strength. I can put a couple coats on. This is dry wood. And then if it's still not quite dark enough, you can always add a little bit of black wax while it's still wet. And I've had good luck matching up these older stains that way. But I am going to go ahead and freshen up the rest of the box just to give it that nice, just, I've been freshly redone. I love the patina. I love the wood color. I love the cubbies. I can tell somebody probably changed out the hardware, but I'm going to leave the hardware as is. So now it's these two turn, and I can actually see them stacked on top of one another. We've been at a lot of auctions and estate sales lately, online sales, and we see these vintage sewing boxes that have lettering on it. And oh, I can't even begin to touch what the price of those are going for. Wow. Anyway, I can definitely respect them. So finding these two out in the wild, I'm pretty happy with my finds. So, but the one did not have a stopper, which stops the drawer from being pushed all the way back. So that's what Chris is going to replace first, is just take a little piece of wood so that when you go to push in the drawer, it doesn't go all the way in, and that it just looks nice from the front. And now deciding which one was going to go on top is which one sands the best. So as you see, there's some marks on the top of it, and we will see if they sand off or not. You just never know if it's only just in the top coat or if it's all the way down into the wood. Now that he has them all sanded, he has actually a piece of oak that matches. So just cut it down to size, trying to see how big that he wants it. He does not have a router bit the same exact curve as what that is, but it'll still be 100% better than not having a top or a bottom. So, yep.
So he's just going to go ahead and round the edges first using his bandsaw. Now this is going to be the bottom piece, but it's still really in a raw state, so he's going to try to sand it as smooth as he can. And it does have a hole in the bottom, but you're not going to really see that because this is the only piece of oak that he had, and we're trying to keep these flips cost efficient as always. So yep, he's just going to go ahead and get that sanded. To stack these two securely on each other, he's going to screw them in, but this is a harder wood, so he's going to need to pre-drill some holes in first. Now that he's got it glued with some Titebond glue, clamped together so it's nice and tight, he's using a measuring tool to make sure that he's going to be screwing right into the wood itself. There's nothing more frustrating than being off-centered. So there again, he's pre-drilling a hole because oak is a really hard wood. And yep, so he's just going to go ahead, and he actually is trying to keep with the age of this piece by using some flathead screws in the random million tools he has picked up this garage sale season. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same mixture, the Waverly Antiquing Wax and a little bit of black wax. Now the oak always likes to go red, so usually that black will help tone it down, and it'll take a couple coats on this one. The first one only took one coat to match, but this one need to let dry a little bit and then put a second coat on because you can see it's already a little bit too light. But I'm happy that Waverly Wax makes these matches so easy. I guess not always. It's always the different types of oak because there is white oak that doesn't go red. So I should retract what I said because I'll get some comments down below. But yes, so I'm going to just freshen the rest of the piece up just with some of the Waverly Wax also. Before I freshen the drawers up, I need to take the hardware off. The hardware is a tad bit dirty. It's got some red paint on it. So, yep, we're just going to get these cleaned up. And I find the easiest way to clean these up sometimes with that porcelain. I love the porcelain is just to take one of the magic erasers and a little bit of water, and it usually will clean right up. Now next up is this dresser mirror. Now this was just a dresser mirror we won on an online auction for $1, folks. Yes, $1. Now the new trend, if you watch Instagram and Pinterest, is to hang these upside down. But the thing about this one, it doesn't have a shelf. Usually they have a little bit of a shelf. So what Chris is doing here is he has a piece of old beadboard and he sanded off the old paint. The underneath is a beautiful color. So that's going to go against the wood, but he's going to attach this like it's a little shelf on the top. So he's just running a bead of a Titebond glue, and then he will staple it on. It's just see how that wood matches perfectly. I'm going to use that same Waverly Wax mixture on the top, but that just gives it a little bit more that it's just not a dresser mirror hung on the wall, that it actually, you can put a little bit of decor on the top of it too. And yes, I did. I actually took these right out of the trash. These were random pieces of wood with nails in them that came in another one of our online auctions winnings. And Chris just saw them as trash. And I'm like, no, no, no. I love that patina of the wood. I know what I can do with these. So first off, I need to remove the nails. It's always funny when I get comments down below that of people like, "Oh, you show too many haul videos. I just want to see makeovers." But how am I supposed to get the stuff if I don't go shopping looking for items to make over for you all, or if I don't show you the items that I got? How do you know to look on eBay to buy? So anyway, there's that. So I picked these little baggies up at a garage sale, estate sale. Oh, I think I got one of the stools from an earlier video in there. Anyway, and the corbels. I got the corbels there. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so this is actually they were money bags. So unlike like a flour sack or a grain sack that's a little more giving, these are a nice stiff already tightened material. As you can see, I'm really struggling to, I may need a new blade on my rotary blade, but it also, I'm cutting through a very thick material. Now that I've got the two sides, I just needed to cut the one side because it's folded over and the bottom off. So that's really nice because I don't have to waste a lot of fabric. I can get quite a few projects out of these, but am trying to get rid of the crease because I want to make these into signs. Yes, hanging from that piece of wood kind of signs. So I'm going to go ahead and it wasn't working with just the hot iron, but so I'm going to go ahead and wet it down in hopes that it will work a little bit better. Somebody said something about water and vinegar also helps, which I do have from my mirror effect around this shop somewhere. So, and I always use parchment paper only because this is my shop iron and we may have removed veneer with this iron, so it may have crud on it. So just to protect the fabric, that's why I have the parchment paper between there. And I believe I got these for $1 a piece, so that was a great, I thought that was a great deal. So now all I'm going to do is just go ahead, that main crease I really couldn't get out, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it in half. Now that I have my fabric cut down, now I'm going to start to cut down the pieces of wood. So I got all the nails out. So all I'm doing is just making a little pencil mark. These are going to be really easy pieces of wood to cut just using the Japanese saw. Now that I have that part done, I just went to my Cricut. I just picked out some basic, I want my fonts to be big because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reverse stencil where I apply the letters to the fabric. So I can fit 3 on one of the 22 by 12 mats. So I just picked out some random words, sayings that sell well for me, and anything to do with the homestead and farmhouse and antiques always still is a good seller in my area. Now, I would like to say vinyling on fabric is really easy, but since this fabric is stiffer, it actually wasn't as bad as the first time I attempted the same technique. The fabric was a little bit more giving, so I am able to keep that down. The first time I did this, the letters would not stick down at all, so it made it an interesting craft. So I'm glad to see that this time it is sticking a little bit better with a little bit of help and the power of editing. I'm getting this word on here. So I'm just going to be using Rust-Oleum's Eclipse chalk paint to paint my color. So no lines, no, I just want it to be random. I'm going to go in with kind of a dry brush first to see how the fabric accepts the paint. Trying not to disturb the letters or have too much that will go underneath because it's fabric, so it'll absorb in. So it's probably going to be one of those perfectly imperfects, but I know that I'm going to absolutely love this. Then I've got them all painted on, and now I can start to remove the letters. So this is actually the fun part to see. Okay, so how much bleed through did I bleed under, I guess you'd say, did I get, or did it do okay? So after that, I absolutely love how they look, except I want to do a little bit of antiquing wax on the letters so that it just looks a little bit more aged. So I'm going to just put the straight antiquing wax on, and then I can have a wet wipe to remove any if it gets too dark. Now I need to do something to create a hanger for these. So I imagine there's a wire hanging and they're just, yeah, but the problem is that wood was really thin. I have aged wire. This is a black wire you can pick up at a hardware store that's already black, so you don't have to spray paint it. So I'm just kind of guesstimating on what size that I'm going to be using. Screws were too big, little nails would go all the way through. So I ended up going for my shortest staples that I had and stapling it on through the back. But I want to make sure that I'm leaving plenty of wire underneath it. It doesn't accidentally get pulled. These like weigh nothing at all. So just a simple hanger like this should work. My last salvaged find was this shaker box. We have these here locally. There's a gladiola farm that, yeah, used to shake the bulbs. And somebody had decorated it with some Christmas fabric, which I wasn't really a fan of, and I'd already cut the excess off. I just didn't think the age of the fabric matched the age of the shaker box. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of this and create something new for the inside of this beautiful shaker box. I have a shaker box actually in my decor, and I've actually had many people offer to buy it. I have a cotton wreath in it, and it's on one of maybe my Facebook page when you open up Ginger Chick Facebook, and everybody always thinks that it's in our booth, but I love it and I don't want to sell it. So I was happy to come across another shaker box. No, it is not cost efficient to go to Hobby Lobby and buy a wreath, even at the 40-50% off that they may offer for a reseller. If I thrift one, that's something else, but for reselling, it's just not possible. But the one thing I do and have been making a lot of are music paper wreaths. So these are old hymnal books that I pick up for a quarter to $1 at estate sales, yard sales. And so this one actually came in a 3-ring binder, so actually a little bit easier than cutting it out of a book. So yeah, so all I'm going to do is just cut the holes off of this, just like cutting it out of the hymnal itself. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half because this is going to be a little bit bigger of a wreath. And it really isn't as hard as you think. So I've got the papers cut in half. I'm just taking a pencil, I'm folding it in half, and then I just basically, yep, that's it. Just stuff it in my hand. It makes a little pocket, and then I put some hot glue on it. And then this styrofoam wreath, I actually just thrifted 2 of these for, I don't know, a couple bucks a piece. So, especially with this raw styrofoam, the hot glue just melts right into the styrofoam. So you just wait like 5 seconds, let it dry just a little bit, pull the pencil out, and we've started our wreath.
So thank you so much for watching today's video, and as always, which one was your favorite? Everyone had its little uniqueness, from using the weather defense to brighten up that rustiness and kind of preserve it. I'm not really sure if it preserves it, but boy does it make it look pretty. And then yes, just simple transformations, putting a hanger system, taking pieces and parts that were doomed for the trash and bringing them in and making something new out of them. So give me a quick comment down below. Is this something that you've done yourself? Have I inspired you in any way to look at the crusty rusties deemed for the junk pile in a different way? So thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you are new and you're checking out this channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!